Ultimately, another way of proving that, I mean, I think it's without a shadow of a doubt that it's just hateful behavior towards me. But if you want to look more detailed um, proof, it would be that women's support groups, because what they're trying to say, what they're saying, but I think they're saying it as a slight. Oh, you don't want to think about our problems. What about our problems? What about our problems? But I think that's just their way of targeting a person. I think it's still malice, because women's support groups, what they're trying to say is, oh, you don't care about our problems. But really, I think they're only doing it to selective people like me. And it's a way of torturing people. It's a way of torture. It's giving that woman's drone, and it's because they've been hurt, so they do this. So like women, if it's problems that they have, then rearrange the women's support thing about childbirth. But really, I don't think it's about that. They're just extremely hateful, these women, as you see, and all they have is this droning hate for me, these groups, and they'll just never stop. They'll just never stop, and that's just what it is, because they had, it's like ruining their plan or something, I guess, which I didn't even intend to do. That was their plan that they ruined themselves with a bad marriage. I mean, I'll just be honest. What were you doing with, trying to marry, men that you shouldn't have married, with whatever intent you had. It's your own bad decision making, and yeah. So that's what they do, is this droning, and yeah. So if they're saying, oh, well, no one cares about women's problems. Well, there's so many services, and if they need to be addressed, then they should be addressed, and that'll prove without a shadow of a doubt that they're just directly trying to harass me with every type of thing. Oh, what about you? And it's just hate. It's hate from a mother who was abandoned, a hate from a mother that made a mistake, that thought she was smarter and better than she was, and also, the fact that she lost her life on a bad decision. What she thought she could do politically, I'm assuming, this marriage and this tactic women are using to dominate the world, and they're just retaliating, which is illegal. It's illegal to retaliate against a person, and so what can I say? If they're saying, well, it's just, what about, there's so many services, fix the services if they're not adequate. If they're saying their women's support services aren't adequate, I will make an urgent appeal to make those services for women more adequate, so they stop droning at random men about all their problems and all their shit, because all of this is inexcusable. But yeah, ultimately women, they want carte blanche, and they're just teaching each other tricks, basically. They're saying, oh, so you were a young girl, huh? And now I'm going to teach you tricks now that now you have new tricks you're going to learn. And they're just they're not at all interested, what's developed with women, or what has been, particularly in the Western world. They're not interested in being good people at all. They're interested in tricks and just doing that type of stuff, and that's clear. It's just totally clear. So I mean, that's just all they're doing. They're just targeting me with, it's like just the women's hate energy. It's a women's hate wave, out of their own thing, and they rationalize it in a million different ways, but it'll be nothing more than just, and that's the sound of women's hate. That is the sound of women's hate. That this problem, blah 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 blah. And since they're based on projections, it probably means that I've created problems for them, which I haven't. They created problems for themselves. I went to live my life, and that's it. So I mean, what can I say? It's just what you're witnessing is the true female psychology, what they've been hiding, and yeah, it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. It's insane.